Well, hello folks, and welcome back to Gaborn's Ranger Escapades. I am your stuffed up host, sick with, well, not sick, but currently being attacked by allergies. Host, Plump, aka Gaborn. Today we are just going to be going on an adventure. It's going to be a short adventure, that's why this video is like 12 minutes long or something. But our destination, the Warrens, is going to take an entire video by itself, and it's probably going to end up being quite long, judging by the editing I've done on it so far. But here we go. In South Qeynos, if you go to the, I believe, southwest corner, you'll find the docks. And if you just stand around there for about 15 to 20 minutes, the boat will show up, jump on it, and you can be on your way to a magical place filled with mystery and adventure and some more horrible things that I will not be going to take a closer look at. It is Erudites Crossing. Erud was a pretty popular guy. He has a lot of fans, a lot of adoring fans out there. But this place, it's kind of called Kara Isle, but it's not, because it's Erudites Crossing. This is just an island that have Kara on it, along with a whole bunch of other things. It is a great place to level if you have a group. Otherwise, it is not so great of a place to level. There are a lot of things to aggro on this island, and I believe it is set up for levels like 9 through 19. Somewhere around there. Very dangerous place. Leveling there is harsh. There's no easy way to zone out. I believe you have to wait for the boat, or you have to camp and log out, or you have to gate. So be very careful if you decide to hunt there. We're not going to, and I'm not going to go into more detail about it, because our boat has finally arrived in Erudites. And to get there, you have to jump on this little skiff that is apparently powered by magic or something. It's not like any boat or vessel I've ever seen. To my ranger eyes, this is definitely a work of magic. In fact, if Gaborn could actually look underneath there and see just how poorly this thing is held together, he'd probably just want to make a swim for it and deal with the sharks. The joys of boat travel. It doesn't take that long though, and then this thing reaches the docks. You're free to jump off and actually try to swim for it, but as you can see, there are sharks out there. And despite the fact they're not that high level, they could still pose a little bit of a problem. They're red to me right now, so I don't want to become fish bait. The sharks do drop an item I might as well tell you about. It's called the shark skin, believe it or not. And that shark skin is used for a very nice cap that I will be questing for at some point. You get it from the halfling city of Rivervale. It's a cap that if you right-click on it, instantly teleports you to West Commons. So it's basically a free get-out-of-jail, oh shit moment, emergency eject button item. Very useful to have. Once you get off the docks here, this is the merchant I would suggest you stop at. There are others scattered through town, but she's the closest. Beth Breadmaker. Sometimes you can find a low-level armor on her, like there's some large rawhide leggings and a rawhide tunic. I believe through my course of adventuring around here, she had ringmail armor from time to time as well. I, however, was just planning to stock up on food and water. I will be getting better gear very soon. I've been collecting bones and hides and greater lightstones and things like that in order to sell them in West Commons. There are several quests around here that you can do for gear. There's one here in Erudites in particular where you can turn in kobold molars, and you have a small chance of getting a piece of ringmail armor. There's also a quest in Qeynos that I didn't do. It would take about 10 hours to get 10 pieces of the rawhide leather armor from it. And I'm not going to do it. I might show how it's done just for the hell of it because the quest is so ridiculous. Everything, you can only do it once a day, I believe. Once an in-game day, which is 72 minutes. In that 10 hours that it would take to get 10 pieces, that would probably have several duplicates, so you wouldn't even have a full suit. You could reach like level 10 or 15. This is the path through Erudin. The main pathway here is all grass, so you might look at it and think that it leads off to some side area, but no. It's apparently some type of astroturf. Old Erud was apparently fond of it. He was an avid golfer, from what I've heard. And behind me there's a fancy old library named right after him. This town is actually pretty small, so it's not that easy to get turned around and lost in. But if you are an evil race, you may want to get in and out as quick as possible. The Erudites are not a xenophobic bunch. They don't generally hate everyone, like, say, the Dark Elves, Trolls, and Ogres. But they're not always welcoming, depending on which deity you worship. I believe Bertoxilus worshippers, for instance, might have a problem here. But since we're here, the first thing we really have to do, unless we want to take a boat ride again, is get a bind. Generally, in every quest, whenever you travel somewhere until you can either bind yourself, which for Wabomund is level 12, and for me is level never, you have to ask out in chat and see if anybody is willing to bind. Or you have to see who's in the zone and send them a tell, which is what I believe Wabomund did. And he found us somebody that is on the way. One of the things that I'm not really going to get to showcase with Wabomund, because I believe he switches to a monk at level 30, is all of the neat items that he can summon. I believe I've mentioned he can summon items like arrows and bandages, but he summoned a staff here that has a flare effect. I believe you can launch it at an NPC and light up an area. Kind of a cool relic from maybe the very early days of EverQuest. I'm not entirely sure why a 3-second light source that you can shoot would ever be useful, but it's there, and it's something he can summon. We had I believe a magician named Aegean join us here, and we chit-chatted with him for a little bit. Well, Astounding, Mr. Astounding is what we'll call him, showed up to give us a bind. A nice little halfling druid. Don't believe we had to pay him anything. I didn't. Wabomund is broke. Aegean is pretty much just searching, I believe, for a telescope. In fact, he tells us that he's a vegetarian. At some point. Yeah, right now his dream or his nightmare is to go slay Mugglewump. There he is asking about telescopes. Wabomund does not believe in science or telescopes. And with those questions and the mention of subsisting solely on vegetables, we decided it was time to head off and go get our club on and beat some kobolds into submission. Up until this point, we've pretty much only been rat slayers. Chiseling cubes. Murdering a handful of gnolls. The kobolds here in the Warrens they are definitely going to be our first real challenge. But before we can get to the Warrens, we have to run straight south through Toxulia Forest, which, if you're our level 8, shouldn't really be too much of a problem. I believe there's a kobold camp in the southwest corner, or somewhere towards the west. So as long as you just run straight south from the zone in, you should hit this tunnel here, on the southern edge of the zone. The only problem here are the 2 skeletons. I believe they're level 9 or 10, and they can see through invisibility. But they are not a problem getting into the zone. The primary problem they pose is whenever you are trying to leave the zone, because they will most definitely see you whenever you try to run past, and they will chase you all the way back to Erudin. So, to get through them here, you just take off at a sprint. They do have bash, so you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to take at least 1 or 2 hits from them. But just run through, and the zone line is right there. So far, the journey hasn't been dangerous at all. This is actually the most dangerous part of the journey here. On the other side of that tunnel is Qeynos. This is where the evil Erudites live. This is a little fork in the road here. If you take the left, it goes to the Warrens, and if you go right here, it heads down to Qeynos. And if you just run straight and over the edge, you fall to your death into a zone called the Hole. It is a level 46 and up zone. We will not be going there yet. So, you take this left tunnel here. If you're smart, you'll cast invisibility or camouflage on yourself. And right through there is guard Herodon. Thankfully, I believe he is only level 12 or 13, so he's not a level 40 guard that would instantly murder Wabomund. But he gets pretty close. Just take off in a dead sprint this way with the guard hot on your tail. And you'll see this little hole in the wall. Who chiseled these pillars? Was it the Erudites? Or was it something far more ancient? If you go left there, it leads to the Warrens. I decided that I didn't know where I was, and so I was going to go down here. And then I was like, oh, wait a second. I actually kind of remember this ramp for some reason, so that can't lead to the Warrens. That leads to the Hole, which is why I remembered it. Run through the Warrens, run to the zone there, right there, and you'll be in the Warrens. However, I'm not actually going to show off anything else inside of the Warrens here until the next video. I want to thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you next time.